Thanks.
Fools! Welcome back. Welcome back. You ready to do some reading? Are you ready to listen to me do some reading? Because it's time. It's time to do some reading. Hold on a second. Let me bring up my chat. Bacon Bits, thank you so much for the 15. Much appreciated. Storm, good to see you. Thank you for the 98. Termina, thank you for the 21. Nico, thank you for the 94. So yeah, today we are going to play for the first time on the channel, and for myself, it's going to be a first playthrough. We're going to be doing the Silent Hill play novel, which never released in the West. This was a Japanese exclusive release. Only recently, I think, did it get a fan patch, and that's what I'm going to be playing, you know, so we have an English translation. I'm not sure when it got the fan patch, but I don't think it was... I think that only happened like a couple of years ago or something. I could be wrong there, but I think this only got a patch relatively recently. So yeah, I'm kind of intrigued to go through it and take a look. I think you can also play as Sybil. I think we might need to finish the game once, though, before we can play as Sybil. I'm not really sure what the deal is there, but yeah, we can like go through the game from Sybil's perspective or something like that. From what I understand, this was not made by Team Silent. So there's that to take into consideration. I'm not sure if they, you know, if members of the team even supervised on it or anything. But yeah, it should be an interesting little thing to take a look at. An interesting little spin-off to take a look at. Something that I've never seen before in the series. Um, Low Life, Hey Panda, JNP, Kyle, Cuckoo, welcome back. Second Knot, Tactical Zigzagging, hey. Wexford, good to see you. Firelord, welcome back, everyone. Coca Koala. So yeah, this is a Game Boy Advance release. Another thing that kind of gave me the motivation to play this was the fact that I found it while I was over in Japan. When I went to Super Potato in Akihabara, I saw a physical copy of the Silent Hill play novel that was being sold for like £400 or something like that. And it just kind of reminded me, hey, yeah, this play novel exists. I should play it. Super Potato, yeah, it's I think it's like the retro game store in Akihabara. It has multiple floors, and yeah, it's gamer heaven, that place. Even though all the pre-owned games are in like mint condition. It's a beautiful place. Just stacks and stacks of PS1 games, PS2 games, MSX games, Game Boy Advance games, you know, everything. Hold on a second. Did I buy this in Japan? No. Like I said, this is a fan patch for the game. Originally, it never came out in the West. So if we want to play it in English, we need to emulate it and use this English translation. I did get a couple of games over there. I got pre-owned copies of Siren 1 and 2. And yeah, they're in like mint condition. Hold on a second here. Ba-da-doo-doo, ba-da-doo-doo-doo. Ba-da-doo-doo-doo. Okay. Here we go. Oh, let me turn that down a bit. Whoa. Okay, it was supposed to be like that, I think. Yeah, I haven't played too many games on Game Boy Advance. But I remember going from Mother 2 Earthbound to Mother 3 on the Game Boy Advance. I really noticed the lower sound quality on the Game Boy Advance compared to the SNES. You know how Earthbound has like an amazing soundtrack, amazing sound. Not so much for Mother 3, in my opinion, at least. Or it still has a good soundtrack, but yeah, it had to deal with the lesser capabilities of the Game Boy Advance. So we also have digital trading cards here. I guess we can find cards in the game. How many cards are there? 8? Only 8? I guess we get cards for most of the main characters and a couple of monsters or something. Can I go on to another page here? I don't think so. Oh, I can. I was wondering about those arrows. Okay, we have 32 cards to collect. But yeah, this is going to be completely blind. I haven't seen a playthrough of this or anything. I know, yeah, like I know a couple of things about it, but, you know, barely anything. Basically blind. Do I have a physical game that I cherish the most? I don't even know where most of my physical games are at the moment, to be honest. I think most of them are at my parents' house in France, like a lot of my old PS1, PS2 games. I didn't treat my games very well growing up, unfortunately. And I don't know how many of them I even have left at this point. Okay, will we do it? But one of these days, I'll assemble a good physical collection. But right now, I don't even really want to buy all that much stuff over here in London, you know, because I don't know when I'll be moving, or, you know, I don't have my own house or anything at the moment. So, you know, I don't want to be holding on to much stuff at the moment here in this apartment. Okay, will we do it? Ooh, Jesus. Let me know if, yeah, let me know how the audio is on your end. Let me just turn it down another bit on your end. Do I collect anime figures? I do not. I've never been a collector, really, of any kind. Which has probably served me well, you know, it served my bank account well. Chapter 2 Cafe. Yeah, I was testing the emulator earlier, but I didn't really read anything. I was just fast forwarding past everything just to make sure it was all looking okay. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. So it's presented as a book that we open because it is the play novel. Okay, let's open the book. Here we go. So yeah, we begin like the game begins. But we are now, it puts us in the mind of Harry Mason here as he tells the story. It's been a while since I've taken a vacation. I am driving my Jeep. Heading towards the quiet resort town of Silent Hill. Okay, I'm driving my Jeep. Heading towards the quiet resort town of Silent Hill, the sound of the engine reverberates in the darkness. Due to some slight car trouble earlier, it has become this late. Okay, so this is... We get some very janky translation right from the outset. Due to some slight car trouble earlier, it has become this late. Okay, I'm down. I'm up for it. I'm up for a fun janky translation. I am Harry Mason. I am a run-of-the-mill writer. Don't be hard on yourself, Harry. I'm sure you're a great writer. This is already amazing. When I was testing the emulator, I wasn't sure if this was a broken sound or not, but this is, I don't think this is a broken sound. This is the sound of the car. Harry needs to get his engine checked. No wonder he crashed here. Her eyes closed, Cheryl sleeps peacefully in the passenger seat. Cheryl is my daughter. She's cheerful and lively. The shots here are just straight, you know, straight out of the game, copied straight from the CG of the game. Her occasional carefree smiles she shows makes me feel happy. I don't have very many relationships with people because of what I do for a living, so Cheryl's existence has become irreplaceable to me. Cheryl was very much looking forward to this trip. Although paved, this is still very much a mountain road. At this hour, there's little reason for any other drivers to be about. I push in the accelerator. There's no light off in the darkness. I can depend only on my headlights. Light reflects off the rear view mirror. It's a motorcycle. There's a motorcycle headed toward the same destination. There's a motorcycle headed toward the same destination as we are at terrific speed at this late hour. With a roar, the motorcycle effortlessly passes by the side of my Jeep. Maybe you are a run-of-the-mill writer. Maybe... That might be saying a bit too much. Perhaps there's been an accident or something. but I don't recall hearing about an accident or anything on the radio. Cheryl is sleeping. A child should not be awake at this hour. I wonder if she's I wonder if she's dreaming about something. I wasn't accusing you of anything, Harry. I know it's normal for her to be sleeping. You don't need to justify it. This doesn't need an explanation, man. No need to get so defensive. Tomorrow I have planned to take her to the amusement park. Oh! We're filling in the story here. Maybe she's dreaming about riding the merry-go-round. I glance over at Cheryl's sleeping face and then return my eyes forward. The lighted area of the road almost appears to be belched out from the darkness as it moves towards me. Did anyone actually translate this? Maybe this is AI translated. This is amazing so far, though. It's making it better. Huh? Something enters my field of view. Oh, I think there is some like gameplay and stuff later too. You know, we have puzzles to solve, we have decisions to make and things like that. It's the motorcycle from just before. It's lying on its side on the shoulder of the road. No doubt about it, it's the same motorcycle that just passed me. There's no sign of the driver. It looks like the driver smashed into the surface of the rocks by the side of the road while trying to avoid some kind of obstacle. And thus, that part of the motorcycle has been destroyed. All right, very in-depth analysis there. Thank you, Harry. I carefully check the way in which my vehicle is headed. However, I don't see anything that could be an obstacle to my advance in the area illuminated by the headlights. A strange atmosphere creeps in. A strange atmosphere creeps in around me. I'm just imagining Harry actually writing this, you know, and he's trying to really show off his descriptive skills as a writer. You know, like he's really telling this story and he's trying to tell it to the best of his abilities. The radio reception begins to become erratic. Ooh, spooky music. Perhaps I should turn back. But my foot persistently pushes down the accelerator with no intention of letting off. You can no longer turn back now. Something murmurs within me. Please increase your speed some more. Someone murmurs within me. Oh shit. Well, this is some significantly different characterization for Harry here. Harry is being manipulated and controlled here. I feel like it would make more sense if Cheryl started to like mutter something. Something murmurs within me. Please increase your speed some more. Someone murmurs within me. Cheryl's eyes are closed. She's dreaming. I know that I should be awake. But what is this? Wait, hold on. Cheryl's eyes are closed. She's dreaming. I know that I should be awake. But what is this uneasy feeling? I feel as if my body is not totally my own. It's like someone, some strange being that is not me, is controlling me. Like I'm floating. My eyelids are heavy. I guess Alessa is controlling Harry here as he's getting closer to Alessa right before he crashes. As the steering wheel leaves my hand, it creates the illusion of setting the course on its own. Freezing cold, uneasiness, almost like being ready to fall asleep. I am just barely conscious, and now at my limit to maintain even that. Oh shit! Ah! When I saw the human figure on the road, I cut the wheel hard, and then there was nowhere else for my Jeep and I to go but down into the darkness below the cliff. The silence pierces my ears. How fucking long is this gonna be? I didn't even consider how long this might take. This might be multiple streams for this whole Silent Hill play level at this rate. God, we haven't even gotten past the CG intro yet. No spoilers. Don't spoil how detailed it is. I'm just gonna have to stop to catch up with the chat every now and then because I'm kind of glued to the screen here reading. The silence pierces my ears. As the wind blew, it was accompanied by piercing cold. Where am I? I can feel light faintly passing through my eyelids. I don't seem to be hurt. That much is clear to me because I don't feel any pain in my body. No. Perhaps I've suffered an injury that doesn't cause any pain? Maybe I should try and do this in Harry's voice. I slowly try opening my heavy eyelids. Out-of-season snow is pouring into the town. Other than the sound of droplets of ice hitting the ground, there's nothing else to be heard. Silent Hill. That is what is assuredly written on the sign by the side of the road. Without realizing it, Cheryl and I have reached our destination. All my memories up to that point are gone. The wind is blowing in. When I take a look next to me, I'm shocked. The passenger door has been left open. Cheryl is nowhere to be seen.
Thanks.
Silent Hill. This town, which should just be a resort area, appears to have become just like a ghost town for some reason. Or maybe it was waiting for us to arrive. Or perhaps the town just nestled up to us. Harry, you don't have time for this fucking bullshit. All this flowery nonsense. Your fucking daughter is out there, lost in this foggy town. So now I'm alone. Cheryl is not here. While I was sleeping, no, while I was knocked out, Cheryl opened the passenger door and stepped out alone into this... Why was that in quotations there? This tourist spot that's ruled by an unsettling silence. And then she left me to head somewhere. Now, I'm just going to keep narrating this in my own voice. It's too much to do in that voice constantly. I tightly closed my jacket around my neck and set off on foot in search of Cheryl. I wonder what in the world happened here. Nothing makes any sense. The silence, the out-of-season snow, and strangest of all, the entire town is wrapped in a thick fog. Oh! Okay, we have a choice. A, Cheryl's destination is... B, is there no one in the town? Okay, are we going to be a good father or a bad father? Are we gonna start thinking about where Cheryl is, or are we gonna start thinking about how there's no one in the town? No, I'm gonna be a good dad. Bad dad? Bad dad? Will we do a bad dad playthrough? I need more opinions on this. What are we doing here? Good dad? Good dad? Hey, Dim. B, B, B. I'm seeing more B's than A's. Do the canon one? Well, when Harry does get out of the car, he does talk about how there's, you know, how it's a ghost town, doesn't he? He isn't just talking about Cheryl. Alright, B. I thought I must find out if there's anyone other than myself here. This is definitely Silent Hill. I recognize the signboard on that store. A long time ago when I was young, I visited here once. All the doors on the shops and houses are tightly shut. No. Among them, there is one shop with its door open, but there's no sign of anyone inside. That's the shop that you can go in, an optional area to get health drinks and a save point. But at the beginning of the game, they don't let you go in there. You can only go in there later on. You can try and go in during the opening Cheryl sequence, but they won't let you. It feels like just the people here suddenly vanished. I begin to run. Only the sounds of my footsteps echo in the surroundings. Just where in the world has Cheryl gone? Did someone lead her away? Various concerns run through my mind. Harry, you're fucking all over the place, man. Oh! Ta-ta-ta-ta. Onomatopoeia for footsteps. I suddenly get the feeling that I heard footsteps other than my own. So I stopped moving right away to check it out. Through the thick fog, I can see a figure that's about the size of a child. Cheryl? Without a thought, I cry out. The figure doesn't move at all. At the moment I begin to move slowly towards the figure, it starts to run. I fiercely chase after the figure. That's definitely Cheryl. Even though it's faint, I would not mistake someone else for Cheryl. Oh, Harry. However, no matter how much I run, I cannot catch up. Instead, the figure is gradually getting farther away from me. The figure puts on speed as if it's gliding through the air. Makes me think of one of Sybil's lines in the game where she talks about seeing a girl walking on thin air when she sees Alessa. The figure appears to be absorbed by the fog as it begins to disappear. In order not to lose it, I run with all my strength while keeping my vision centered on the figure. I then notice that I've come to an alley surrounded by buildings. Oh, here we go. Time for the iconic alleyway sequence. I don't know how, but it's like a cover was placed over the sky, which had provided light until now, and the area has become engulfed in darkness. From the darkness, I can hear multiple footsteps coming this way. I don't know who it is. We have a choice again here. Doesn't say A or B this time. I don't know who it is. I'll take a look. Or I'm gonna get out of here. I don't have anything with me that can be used as a weapon. Ooh. Well, in the original game, you don't really have a choice. You just have to keep going. Well, we know this is all going to lead to a dream sequence, right? So we don't need a weapon. Let's keep going. Although, I'm kind of curious to see what happens if we get scared and run away. Chat, what do you think? A or B?
Thanks.
A, B, A, B, B, B. Nerve, thank you for the 33. A, A. Cheers, Nerve. Okay, B. I've got to get away. But I can't go back the way I came because that eerie presence is back there. Really? You didn't say anything about an eerie presence back there. You walked into a very eerie presence. Where suddenly it got really dark and scary. I wonder, did that make a difference, though? Or will that add points to the don't give a shit about Cheryl path? So I move further in. I can only move gradually through the narrowing pitch black alley by feeling around with my hands. But I only end up reaching a dead end. Metal fences surround the area, and they're so high that I don't think I can climb over them. They're coming from behind. I stood ready. What the? What are they? With beast-like rage, they have closed in to right where I am. Ah! And then my vitality is sucked away by these strangely shaped monsters until I finally lose consciousness. Wow, Jesus, that's very underwhelming. Compare that to the original game. You walk down, you see all of this grisly stuff. He takes out the lighter. The tension keeps, ramping up. Until you get to the fence, and then he gets chased by the monsters, gets grabbed by them a couple of times. This is all too sudden here. Suddenly, monsters, my vitality is sucked away, and I wake up. Sybil Bennett. She's a full-time police officer working in the neighboring town of Brahms. There was no one else in the cafe other than her and Harry. She took a seat at the counter and waited for Harry to awaken. I suddenly awoke. Where is this place? Why am I here? Was I brought here by someone? There's no boundary between dream and reality. Just confusion. As I lay on the bench seat in the cafe, my eyes slowly begin to focus. The woman sitting at the counter stands and folds her arms. She walks over and looks down at me. Hey, Sybil. She's wearing a police uniform. The woman smiles a little bit as she appears to be relieved that I have regained consciousness. It looks like you've come around. Who are you? I try talking to the unfamiliar woman. I'm Sybil Bennett. I'm here because all communication with this town suddenly went dead, and so I came to investigate. I'm Harry Mason. I brought my daughter to this town for some sightseeing, but on the way there was an accident and I lost consciousness. Oh yeah, Sybil, you haven't seen a little girl in this town, have you? Oh yeah, my daughter. A little girl? Oh. No, I haven't seen her. When I came to after the accident, my daughter was nowhere to be seen. The passenger door was open and she was gone. Cheryl. Sorry, my daughter's name is Cheryl. She's a timid person, so it's hard to imagine that she headed out into this weird town alone. Plus, I was there in the driver's seat, and since she gave me no warning, it just doesn't make sense. Are you familiar with this area? There's no sign of anyone. And what's going on with the snow at this time of year? Just what in the world has happened in this town? I said all of this while breathing deeply. I'm afraid I don't know either. I still haven't seen anyone other than you. It's like the town is as silent as a graveyard, left without even the means to contact any neighboring towns. I see. You also had an accident, right? I thought it was a good idea to head to the police station in this town alone on my... I thought it was a good idea to head to the police station in this town alone on my motorcycle. But
Thanks.
I guess I was going a little too fast. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can read this writing for as long as this is gonna take. A girl suddenly jumped out into the road. I am pretty sure it was a girl. I almost hit her. I cut the handlebars hard in order to avoid her. After that, I can barely remember anything. When I came to, I was lying in the street in front of this cafe. So naturally, I came in here to get out of the snow. And then I found you sleeping there. I was having some kind of a terrible dream. As for if I made it here on my own, I don't remember at all. Just what in the world has happened in this town? What's going on with everything? Well, the situation is definitely strange. I'll head back to Brahms for reinforcements and then return here. How about you? Sybil stood and fixed her collar with resolute fortitude. I've got to look for Cheryl. There's no way I can just leave her here alone. I see. Well, I'll give you this then. You never know what might happen under these circumstances. If you feel threatened, then pull the trigger without hesitating. I take the gun into my hand. Another choice. Okay. A, thanks. I hope I don't have to use it. B, thank you, but I'm no good with guns. Oh. I'm gonna have to go for B here. Hey, Nighty, how's it going? Mr. Man, good to see you. Yeah, we need to see if it's actually possible to leave the gun. Hold on. Imagine describing an 8-year-old girl as a timid person. She's a little kid. There's a lot of very strange lines. Okay. Thank you, but I'm no good with guns. I haven't even touched one. I can't handle it. Amazed, Sybil takes a deep breath. It's simple. I'll show you how to use it. See? First hold it in your right hand, then place your forefinger on the trigger. I reluctantly followed her instructions. Like this? Yes. Now place your left hand on your right hand so that it doesn't move. Then all you have to do is slide this, fix your aim, and pull the trigger. Like this? He shot Sybil. Bang! The bullet grazes Sybil's cheek! Oh my god! I didn't think he was actually gonna shoot Sybil. The bullet grazes Sybil's cheek and penetrates the wall of the cafe. One of the pictures on the wall falls. I wonder, would this have happened if I just took the gun? Hey! You need to watch it. I'm sorry, I was just doing what you said and it just... No, it's not. No, it's not, and it just a few centimeters over and you would have been a murderer. I lost even more self-confidence. Well, it's all right. Please use it carefully. Well then, I'm going. After she just got shot in the cheek. Okay, well, they wrapped this up nicely after that. All right, take it easy on your way back to Brahms. The sound of the door closing reverberated woefully inside the cafe. It reverberated woefully because of that previous interaction. After being left alone in the cafe, I gazed at the handgun Sybil gave me for a little while. And then I thought about Cheryl, who had disappeared in this town. Yeah, you better be careful not to shoot Cheryl, Harry. The figure I saw in the fog, that was definitely Cheryl. but she didn't answer my calls, and she was quite possibly moving away from me. I don't understand. I'm getting a bit mixed up. Still, the one thing I know for sure is that Cheryl has vanished in this town. All I can do is look for her. I may not have any knowledge of the surroundings or any clues, but I won't find Cheryl if I stay here. I stood up energetically and placed my hand on the cafe door. Oh. Something is making noise. She. He. What's that noise? Oh! Right, we have to go for B, right? Just to see if it's possible. See if we can fight against what the original game does. It's somewhere outside the cafe. Oh! Oh, fuck. Have I lost the radio for the whole game now? Hopefully not. Outside. I open the door and hurry out into the street. The snow still continues to fall. I breathe in the cold outside air and it feels like waking up. The noise I just heard until now had stopped. Is the wind drowning it out? My question was soon answered. Through the glass, I can see that a radio has been placed on top of a table inside the cafe. Is it that? I immediately went back inside the cafe. Okay. I wonder, are any of these choices that are barely choices going to make significant differences down the line with like ending paths and things like that if there are multiple endings? Also, hey Billy, sorry if I've been missing anyone. Cabby, good to see you. Tax Evasion, Isla, everyone. Foxy with the 62, Nerve, Sale, Kitten. Cheers everyone for all the resubs. The noise has stopped. Thinking that it may come in handy for something, I slide the portable radio into my pocket and once again walk toward the cafe's exit. After leaving the cafe... Oh, no interaction, no monster. Maybe we avoided the monster by coming outside first. Maybe that gave them the monster time to leave. Probably not. After leaving the cafe, I decided to first head toward the alley from before. Okay, same as the game. Oh, that's a pretty cool looking shot with that blinding white sky. Black figures fly about in the heavens as if searching for prey. I then come to realize a constant. The static on the radio changes based on their movements. The closer the monsters come to me, the louder the static gets. My sight is hindered by the fog, and on top of that, the weather is so bad that snow is falling. So this is extremely important information. I run through the snow that appears to have no intention of stopping, increasing my speed each time the static comes in on the radio. I proceed into the fog. Okay. Following the thin thread of my memory, I finally arrive at the alley from before. The evil atmosphere has dissipated and light pours in along with snow from in between the buildings. I move into the alley and it dead ends after a bit. At the end of the alley, I see a familiar sketchbook that appears to have been thrown away. The likeness of me that Cheryl drew is on the cover of the sketchbook. Hey! Yeah, and it's basically the same picture as the game. This is definitely Cheryl's. Sketchbook opens. I try opening it. Inside, the following is written in red ink. To school. Along Levin Street, I slip through the back door of a house. Whoa, we're fast forwarding here. Okay. Along Levin Street, I slip through the back door of a house that had a dog house and then head for the school. The surroundings gradually fill with darkness and only the flashlight on my chest illuminates this strange street. Okay, so we don't do any puzzles for the 11th Street house. We can just go straight through and head to the school. You'd think here they would have just thrown out the 11th Street house altogether, you know, if they're not going to have a puzzle for it. You know, like, why not just have the road be open to the school? You know, the reason you need to pass through the 11th Street house is because the roads are destroyed and you can't take the main road to the school anymore, so you have to pass through the house. But they don't even, you know, they don't even bring any of that up. Why are we going through the house? At least I don't think they brought that up there, did they? He just said that he went through the house for some reason. Maybe he mentioned roads being destroyed and I was just not paying attention. I don't think he did, though. I passed through the entrance to the elementary school grounds. When I open the door that leads into the school building, I see that even more darkness is waiting for me inside. It's possible that Cheryl scribbled those letters to school. I can't be sure whether Cheryl is here or not. It's just that I haven't a clue other than that sketchbook. A guide map of the school has been tacked to the side wall of the entrance with a rusted thumbtack. After removing the map from the wall, I place it in my pocket and push open the heavy door that leads into the interior of the school building. My footsteps and the creaking of the hallway. They sound like screams as their reverberations rock my eardrums. I had been walking carefully, step by step, but without realizing it, I had begun to run. There's no sign of anyone. Harry is very funny in this. Come on, Harry, don't be a chicken. The silent innards of the school building are dark, and with only the flashlight on my chest, it's impossible for me to see any of the details. Cheryl doesn't have a flashlight, so if she came in here and got lost, then she probably wouldn't even be able to walk around. Since I have my flashlight turned on, she should be able to notice me easily. At least I have that modest hope. I then notice that I've come to the entrance to the music room. Hey! I place my hand on the heavy door. When I open the door, I see that the inside of the room is large and there's a grand piano placed in its center. I sit on the chair of the piano. As I sit on the chair of the piano, I am shocked. The seat is still warm. Ooh, that's a spooky detail we don't have in the original. As if someone had been sitting here just a few minutes before. Cheryl's smile runs through the back of my mind. Cheryl often played the cheap upright piano in our home. It had become nice background music when I was working. This is all new stuff. Perhaps Cheryl had come to the music room. I gently open the cover over the piano keys. I notice that there's red mixed in among the black and white. The music here is quite generic, you know, it's not really Midwich Elementary atmosphere. It's not very Silent Hill atmosphere. I notice that there's red mixed in among the black and white. I try touching the liquid. It has a lukewarm feel. It's still holding heat. It's definitely blood. My heart pounds in my chest like an alarm bell. The large amount of... I almost said Taco Bell there. The large amount of blood spilled on the keys. If this is Cheryl's blood, then she may no longer be alive. I wipe the stain off my hands onto my jeans, stand, and leave the music room. At the same time I closed the door, thought I heard someone's... At the same time I closed the door, thought I heard someone scream. Maybe it was just my imagination. I walk down the hallway. So we don't even make any decisions in the music room. We just stop in to take a look at it. It seems like Cheryl might have been there. Okay. The sleety mixture of snow pounds hard against the windows facing the courtyard. I take a look through a window down at the dark courtyard. The not-so-large courtyard is dotted with areas in which withered plants are growing. In addition to that, an old clock tower is faintly visible. We're probably just going to walk through the clock tower now and then transition to the other world. From here, I cannot determine what time the clock is pointing to. Wait, something appears to be wriggling about in the darkness. An animal? No, it's dark and I can't see so well. But it's slowly moving on two legs. It appears to be searching for prey. Is it going to be a claw boy? At that moment, the radio I had clipped to my chest suddenly began making noise. As I returned my sight to the hallway, a sharp pain runs through my thigh. Hey! When I look down, I see that the tips of those long claws are piercing my thigh. Get off my thigh, you little shit. Those oddly shaped monsters. They are posed like they want to hug me and have gathered around my waist. They're about to bite me. It's kind of cute, the little animation. Little side-to-side movement. I instantly pushed the monster away with my hands, or readied the handgun and fired. Yeah, he's quite cute in this compared to the game. Okay, what do we go for here? A or B? Okay, I'm seeing more bees. I instantaneously readied the handgun I was carrying and fired at the monster. Ow! I hit it, but its long... I hit it, but its long claws dug deeper into my thigh, widening the wound. It was funny that right after the shot, the first thing we hear is Harry say, ow. I thought he shot himself by mistake or something. You never know after the last encounter. With my right hand, I pushed on its head part with force and knock it away. It then totters and falls down on its face. That was when I noticed that I had been... What? Did I miss something there? I readied the gun. I fixed my aim on their heads and pulled the trigger with my trembling index finger. I continue to shoot as each one of them appears. The smoke from the gunpowder began to fill the air around me, so I placed one hand over my mouth. Even after the noise from the radio had stopped, I could only stand there, paralyzed in utter amazement among their corpses. Is Cheryl all right? She shouldn't have been carrying anything. She shouldn't have been carrying anything that could be used as a weapon. Okay. All right. Okay. We're gonna keep moving here. I was worried there when the screen went red that I might be dead or something. I didn't know what was going on. I thought that I was wondering I had that thought as well that maybe the monster said "ow" for a split second. I begin running. I can't just stand around. There's not a moment to lose. Cheryl's waiting for me. Wait a minute. Suddenly my vision became hazy or something, and I rubbed my eyes. When I look back, I see that all the bodies of the monsters have unexpectedly vanished. What? Was I hallucinating or something? How many monsters did he kill back there? I pull the guide map out of my inner pocket and shine the flashlight on it. And then I confirm that there is a boiler room located in the basement. my feet naturally began to take me there. I descend the stairs to the basement, taking one step at a time. A school building without light. As I move forward, I am beset on all sides by absolute darkness. As I head towards new fear and new enemies, my feet have no intention of stopping their advance. This is amazing writing. As I head towards new fear and new enemies, my feet have no intention of stopping their advance. But oddly enough, I don't have a sense of justice. I just want to make sure that I just want to make sure that Cheryl is safe, to catch her in my arms. That's my only goal. Why would you have any other goal? Why would you need a sense of justice? What the fuck are you talking about, Harry? Like, he feels like he should have a sense of justice about killing these monsters. You know, he's bringing justice to Silent Hill. The boiler is not running. If I simply press the switch in front of me, then this eerie machine should begin operating. However, I just stand still. He feels like he should be feeling like a hero, like he's saving the world here. Okay, hold on. Let me take a drink here. I'm just a run-of-the-mill writer. That's going to be the defining line of dialogue for this whole playthrough, I think. The boiler is not running. If I simply press the switch in front of me, then this eerie machine should begin operating. However, I just stand still. Of course you do, Harry. I try pushing the switch, but the boiler doesn't do anything at all. So I try opening the switchboard cover below the switch. It appears that I must somehow supply power from the main power supply to the boiler. The power supply is on the right. From the from the left of the switchboard, a thick pipe extends out and is connected to the boiler. Oh no. Okay. Fuck! Okay, watch this. Wait, did that let me go over to that one? It did. Oh, okay. I figured this one would have to be directly connected to this one or something. Is there anything else I can interact with here? No? Maybe we start on this side, go from this arrow to that arrow, given that this part is turned on over here. That might make more sense. Oh! What? Yeah, I think we can only do 4. Okay, I think I see here what I think I see what it wants me to do. Um... Hey, there we go. Got it. I have an instinctive feeling that by pushing this switch, that something outrageous may happen. Although at the same time, I also notice my daughter Cheryl's scream run through my heart. Like a sense of duty that makes me feel that I must push the switch. Yeah, I was a bit confused at the end because I thought I was only allowed to press it 4 times. Then I realized it was 5 and it suddenly made sense. I slowly push the switch in. The entire school building shudders as if it were a giant ship. The entire elementary school building appears as if it has been swallowed by Cheryl's heart as she stands alone in the darkness. I understand that I must do something. To the courtyard. The darkness softly whispers to me. Okay, time. Right, back to the clock tower. Oh, you have the gold medallion and silver medallion things there. But we probably don't interact with those. The clock tower looks to be about tall enough to reach the 3rd floor of the school. At its base, there is a small door about big enough for an adult to enter while bent down. Good analysis there, Harry. Very precise. The door solemnly opened. After opening, the door seems to beckon the one standing in front of it to enter with an irresistible mental energy. I'm just thinking about how this parallels the original game. It basically skips over the puzzle and goes to the final part of the puzzle. You know, after you get the gold medallion and the silver medallion, the final thing you need to do before you're allowed through the doors is go down to the boiler room and turn on the boiler. But yeah, it seems like that's going to be a recurring pattern with this play novel, that we just kind of skip over the major puzzles and go through the story. And then it'll have a few of its own puzzles every now and then that weren't in the original. The door solemnly opened. After opening the door seems to beckon the one standing in front of it to enter with an irresistible mental energy. I cannot resist that power. As I enter, the door closes with a hopeless thunder. Inside the clock tower, a physiologically loathsome stench hung in the air. However, the smile of my beloved daughter in my heart lessens my uneasiness and lets me forget my fear, if even for only a moment. God, shut the fuck up, Harry. Reassured, I place my foot on the ladder leading underground with my greatest motive, called love. The inside finally became a small passage about large enough for an adult. I run. Trusting that I will see her smile ahead, I run forward, stomping on concrete stained with the smell of death. Once I climb the ladder at the end of the tunnel, there will be no going back. I mutter Cheryl's name one more time. The depressing sound of the door closing echoes throughout the courtyard. Where am I? A raw, warm breeze brushes past my cheeks. The view lets me know that this is like a completely different world from the school I was just in. Once again, I think. Where am I? I descend the small stairs leading away from the clock tower and become even more convinced. An extremely religious looking design. An extremely religious looking design has been drawn in the center of the courtyard. Within a large double circle, a triangle has been placed, and within that, a strange pattern that looks like hieroglyphics is drawn. Okay, we have the seal of Metatron, which looks a little bit different. I don't remember this being here before. I mutter, hey, it's a line right out of the game. This is definitely the school I was just in. The placement of the trees and the construction of the building. However, an overpowering feeling of nausea rises up through my body. A revolting, horrible smell, like that of the stench of cutting into rotten meat, thickly wafts throughout the air and is nearly visible to the eye. I begin to run. I can no longer bear to stay in this spot. By the time I place my hand on the door that leads inside the school building, I no longer have the strength left to tell how long I was running. Maybe it was only for an instant? Oh. New music. The school building has dramatically changed. Metal-grated floors, blood-covered walls, corpse-like puppets hanging everywhere. It's like a nightmarish scene in which everything is isolated from the real world. Not really getting too many Silent Hill feels from this music, but alright. Oh, hold on. This low note coming in is giving me some Silent Hill feels. A bit. I mean, particularly for the school, you know? When you're exploring the school, you're not hearing this kind of music, especially. Maybe you'd get something, not even really for a scene later. I'm thinking of the scene with Sybil later. That has that little melodic jingle. But not very Yamaoka, really, this. In spite of that, I run. I'm searching for Cheryl. The unpleasant metallic sounds of my footsteps resonate throughout the inside of the school. Oh, time for the phone call scene. And then I open the door to the teacher's room. Perhaps the door is not installed correctly, as it took me several forceful tries to force it open. I don't give a shit, Harry, how many attempts it took. Get on with it. Once I enter the room, I'm shocked. Desks are strewn about, and a raw, rotten stench rules the room. I, A, call the police to get help. B, call home where no one should be. Harry is a fucking idiot in this game. Right, we have to go for B. Without knowing why, I dialed my home number where no one should be. Maybe there's a chance that Cheryl has already returned home. That's what I was thinking. Maybe this would be the reason for calling home. He didn't say that. He didn't specify that, though. With slight hope, I... Boo-roo-roo-roo-roo-roo. Boo-roo-roo-roo-roo-roo. Onomatopoeia for ringing telephone. The phone is ringing. The mechanical electrical sounds repeats over and over. Then all of a sudden it stopped. Hello? The voice of a man I do not know escapes from the receiver. Oh shit. Lost Highway. Hello, who is this? From the receiver I hear a gasp. Ah, Click. The phone went dead. I stood bewildered for a bit with the receiver pressed against my ear. There's a man in my house where no one should be. A man I don't know. I gently hang up the receiver. Yes, Harry, we know that no one should be in your house. You've said it like 5 times, man. I gently hang up the receiver, and for a bit I am captivated by that blue telephone. I begin to leave the room. My heart rapidly contracts. The mechanical bell sound echoes throughout the room. I nervously approach the telephone and once again pick up the receiver. Daddy, help me. It's Cheryl. There's no mistaking it. I firmly press the receiver against my ear. Daddy, where are you? Cheryl? Is this Cheryl? At that moment, Cheryl's voice is replaced with a busy signal. I knew it. I knew it, I think. Cheryl is here. Being located in the residential area, many children probably come to this school. The interior of the elementary school is larger than I imagined. Including classrooms, there are a lot of rooms, so locating Cheryl will be extremely difficult. If Cheryl wasn't brought here by someone, and instead came here of her own free will, then perhaps she might be in that one room. Back to the piano room? I spin around, run to the stairs at the end of the hall, and then sprint up them. Oh. I've come to the library, and my eyes are drawn to the open book here. We haven't... What? Okay, whatever. It was a children's book, a pharmaceutical book, a dictionary of religious science. What's going on here? Am I guessing what book is here in the room, or am I deciding on which book I'm going to read in the library? What? He's deciding what the book is? Schrodinger's book? There's one book on the table, and we're going to decide what kind of book that is. Well, in the game, it's a children's book, so let's do something different. Let's go for the dictionary of religious science. Yeah. The visual is straight from the game. Look, it even has the picture of the boss on it. Depending on the region, each have the characteristic of having individual doctrines. From ancient times, the practice of offering a living sacrifice was the only way to avoid disaster. Most believers are those who have chosen to renounce the world for the sake of their beliefs, while those believers who cannot yet give up their material possessions need to deepen their knowledge of the sacred texts. However, some believers have a tendency to strictly hide the fact that they are believers from others. This is because they believe that if the fact that they are believers becomes known, then their effectiveness would become nothing. Even with black magic, which is thought to have vanished in present times, its magical spells are actively researched in such areas. In that process, an altar set alight with a sacred flame and a symbolic seal were required. Then, by summoning an evil being and bringing it to contact with a saint, a new existence is said to be able to be created. Okay, well, this all ties in fairly well with the story and what happens with the Lessa. In this case, the saint is not limited to a priest, as an inanimate object can also be used. I become gripped with the sense that my actions have been controlled by someone this entire time. Coming to the library, seeing that specific page in the open book when Harry was starting to get possessed at the beginning of the game, it was alluding to me. I'm the one in control. Even whatever it is that I must do now, it is a decision that is out of my hands. Everything that has happened has been in someone's hands. I have gradually come to understand this. Even still, I probably cannot determine my own course. Okay, we're starting to choose things that are going to determine our ending. The whole thing about the inanimate object as well was making me think, you know, because that isn't really a part of the game, the original game. So maybe that's going to be some new path that's only in the play novel. I accept the directions of the unseen one to whom I must obey. In order to find Cheryl, there is no other alternative. I now know where it is I need to go. As I journey there, I walk firmly, stepping forward one step at a time. I descend a staircase from which uncomfortably warm air flows, and find an elevator at its base that invites me to descend even further. As its doors slowly open. Once I enter, its doors close. And in the next moment, with a rusty clunk sound, the elevator begins to descend at a high rate of speed. Just how far down is it going? All I can do is go with the flow. There we go. Yeah, boss time. Gradually, the elevator and I are enveloped in hot, humid air. The elevator stops, and I step off as its doors open. Beyond a short passage, a dazzling light emitted from a small room. A small room which has been waiting for my arrival. Oh! I like seeing these new visuals for the monsters. In the center, the fires of hell burned, and everything made it look like this room was meant for prayer. And then it was there. It slowly moved around the enormous sconce from which flames and ash rose. The lizard looks to have suddenly mutated. Its outer shell is a mucus membrane type. It just stares at me, and with surprisingly comfortable speed, it looks for a chance to attack. Here, A, I fired the gun at its large body. B, I am no match for this enemy with the weapons I'm carrying. Running is the best bet. Well, in the game, we shoot it. I just wanted to press the select button to see if it did anything. Chapter 5, Awareness, One's Own Course. Okay. I'm no match for this thing, Billy, you think? Okay, fuck it. I'm gonna run away. I was overwhelmed by its size. I've got to escape. I don't stand a chance with the feeble weapon in my pocket. I look for an escape route. However, the entrance I came through is now closed by a thick, solid metal fence without any opening which I could slide through. I cannot escape. At that moment, a part of my memory was suddenly awakened. Definitely. In the library, in the teacher's room. The library? I remember that book I just picked up not too long ago. its contents run about in my head. While paying very close attention to the movements of my opponent, I recall its passages. Even with black magic, which is thought to have vanished in present times, its magical spells are actively researched in such areas. Oh! Are we gonna... You know, in the original game, you only get one bit of information from that book, which teaches you how to kill the monster. You know, that you need to shoot at it when its mouth is wide open. But because we were able to turn it into a different book, I guess we create alternate strategies for the monster depending on the book that we read. In that process, an altar set alight with a sacred flame and a symbolic seal were required. Then by summoning an evil being and bringing it into contact with a saint, a new existence is said to be able to be created. In this case, the saint is not limited to a priest, as an inanimate object can also be used. The monster in front of me was possibly summoned by or descended from black magic. However, that literature did not contain any information. No one help me right now! Oh, okay. Oh, Harry. So what do we do? Oh! I'm in danger. When I returned to my senses, its wide open mouth was right in front of me, opened in a way that suggested that it planned to swallow me whole. Harry just sitting there for like 5 minutes thinking about everything that was in that book he just read, until he came to the conclusion that, no, actually there was nothing in there that could have helped me. It's too late. I was caught in its mouth, easily lifted and then crushed by its teeth as I fell inside it. Game over? Oh. When I came to, I found myself in the middle of a dark room. Where is this? I wondered to myself. The monster from before has vanished. Oh, I thought maybe we had to go back and retry. But no, this is the aftermath of the fight, just like in the original game. I heavily stood up and then waited motionless for a bit until my eyes came into focus. Somehow this looks to be the boiler room. It's oddly quiet. Maybe I was dreaming? My very exhausted body seems to have also recovered somehow. The low hum of the boilers strangely calms my nerves, and then I sense the presence of a person and I shift my gaze. There was a girl standing there. She was wearing dark blue clothing and her light brown hair was neatly combed. The girl was just staring right at me. Once I noticed her and began to step towards her, she completely disappeared, as if her body just dissolved into thin air in the room. I was alone in the room again. What was that? Who in the hell was that? A strange feeling of relief. After standing for a bit, I let out a long breath and then placed my hand on the door at the entrance. Sunlight is shining into the hall of the school building. As usual, the snow is still outside, but I am gripped with a strange feeling of relief, as if cancerous cells had just been removed from me. Filled with relief, I slowly walk toward the exit of the school building, and then I learn that Cheryl is not here, from the loud sound of the church bells that seem to call out to me. This is really loud on my end. Is the bell drowning me out? If I ever need to alter the sound, you can tell me. It's alright. I begin to run toward the church on a road half covered in mud. Snow falls above my head, some of which freezes my hair as chilly air flows by. When I reach the church, I push open the heavy door without hesitation. Woo! Dahlia! A cross is mounted on the front wall. Long benches are lined up on both sides of a small walkway. It was as if time had stopped for this familiar style church. In front of the altar, a sly-looking woman with cold eyes looks down at me with an eerie grin. As I walked up to her, stepping one step at a time, she gazed at me without blinking. She looked as if she had predicted that I would arrive. "Were you ringing that bell?" The woman snorted with a humph. "I've been expecting you. It was foretold by gyromancy." "What are you talking about?" "I knew you'd come. You want the girl, right?" "The girl? You're talking about Cheryl?" My eyes grew wide. "I see everything. You know something? Tell me." "Stay back." The woman held the palm of her hand out at me and then lowered her chin in a way that suggested, "Please calm down." "Nothing is to be gained by floundering about at random. You must follow the path of the hermit concealed by Flauros." "What? What are you talking about?" I asked once more without hiding my bewilderment. "Here, the Flauros, a cage of peace. It can break through the walls of darkness and counteract the wrath of the underworld. These will help you. Make haste to the hospital before it's too late." The woman held up a strange object and then softly placed it on the desk on top of the altar. "Wait, don't go yet." I will A, believe that woman's story, or B, her story was unclear and I don't understand it. I cannot just carelessly believe her. Okay, this is cool. We can actually choose another path here. Whereas in the original game, we just kind of have to follow her guide. We have to take the Flauros and everything. Oh, I guess she already gave me the Flauros though, right? So we don't have a choice over that. Yeah, let's go for B. Her story was unclear and I don't understand it. I thought that insane woman's behavior and the details of her story were questionable. All that remains in the church is the reverberations of the sound of a door closing. I go after that woman. I'm convinced that woman definitely knows some secret of some sort. However, the knob on the door that she went through will not turn at all. It must be locked from the other side, just like the game. Damn! Now I'm the only one left in the church. Almost as if taken from a nightmare, this place has heat. This warmth. It feels like it's protecting me from something. That's the best way to describe the heat. I move away from the door and begin walking to the altar that woman was at. The object that the woman was just holding has been placed there. Yeah, so it seems like we do still follow her path here. The Flauros. That is certainly what that woman had called this. I try picking it up, and then I place it back on top of the desk right away. It is power. The overwhelming power of the gods rests inside this four-sided object. It was a sensation like an electrical current passing into the palm of my hand, and then power moving throughout every nook and cranny in my body. I pick it up once more. This time I calmly take it into my hand and then place it in my pocket. For some reason, I am convinced that this object will help me find Cheryl. Okay, well that was a bit different. Harry doesn't need to be convinced of the Flauros' power like that in the original. He just picks it up and puts it in his pocket. We don't get a big radiant effect from it. I pick up the key that was next to the Flauros, open the door of the church, and rush out into the heatless snow world again. Hospital. That woman certainly said something about one. Alchemila Hospital. The only hospital I could find on the map was that one. I could see my breath as I exhaled while I headed toward the entertainment district. The bridge to the entertainment district has been raised so that boats can pass by it in the river below. In other words, it's split in the middle and is fixed in a raised position that makes it look like the Japanese katakana character. And there's the character. I enter the nearby drawbridge control room, place the key I was holding into the control panel, and forcefully turn it to the right. While emitting a sound like an old woman laughing, the bridge finally begins to lower. It is a very unique sound that you get for the bridge here in the game as well. I don't know if I'd compare it to a laughing woman, though. Yeah, while emitting a sound like an old woman laughing, the bridge finally begins to lower, inviting me to the entertainment district. Dim, what was the deal with that katakana? Like, the katakana kind of looked like the way a bridge would look, you know, if it was held up. You know, the two sides of the bridge pointing up like a triangle. The katakana is ha. After crossing the bridge, I shudder. The temperature is gradually declining. Or maybe it's just a result of the thing inside me that produces nervousness and fear. On this wide road, there's not a single motorcycle running. I am running right down the center of it. If I continue forward, Alchemila Hospital should be on the right. Nothing special about it? Okay. It just made me think of how the bridge might look if it, you know, when it's not, you know, when it's moved upwards. An old building appears in the thick fog. On the signboard, Alchemila appears in faded letters. Its eeriness caused me to hesitate for an instant. But in the next moment, I placed my hand on the cold gate. I opened the heavy hospital gate and then opened the door directly to my right that has entrance written on it. Also, Nico, welcome back. Which Harry would you consider the most confusing or confused? Well, this one is definitely the most confusing. Probably the most confused as well. I don't know. Are we going to see Kaufman here? I hope so. The inside of the hospital is wrapped in silence. To the left, there's a reception area in which various papers are neatly placed on a shelf. I wonder, are we going to get the whole Kaufman side story and, you know, all of that stuff with the drug trade? To the left is a reception area in which various papers are neatly placed on a shelf. Waiting benches are lined up along the back of this hall, and a television is pointed at them. I do not feel the presence of any patients or even any people. Only faint light pours in through the windows from the cloudy sky. The hall is filled with a trace scent of alcohol which penetrates my nose. I begin walking. After passing through the waiting room, I reach a long corridor. I open the door marked examination room. Oh! Nice! At almost the exact same time as I opened the door, a man inside jumped up out of his chair. He's holding a handgun in his right hand. I, A, hid behind the door in a panic. B, immediately counterattack with my gun. Yes! Do it. I instantly ready my gun. That plump man appears to realize that I was a human, but as soon as he saw the gun, his eyes grew wide. Hold it! Stop! Don't shoot! Wait! I'm not here to fight. After I lowered my gun, the man sat down in his chair in a way that showed that he was relieved. Thank God. Another human being. Damn, I was hoping we could shoot him. I never thought Kaufman looked particularly plump. My name is Harry Mason. I'm in town on vacation. Do you work here? The man nodded. I was truly relieved. Silent Hill, which has become a habitat for strange monsters. This is my first contact with someone from this town. I'm Dr. Michael Kaufman. I work at this hospital. So maybe you can tell me what's going on. That man who called himself Kaufman once again stirs in the chair he is sitting in. I really can't say. I was taking a nap in the staff room. When I woke up, it was like this. Everyone seems to have disappeared. And it's snowing out, this time of year. He looks off at the floor of the examination room. There on the floor, the corpse of a still warm monster lay on its side. Something's gone seriously wrong. Did you ever see those Did you see those monsters? Have you ever seen such aberrations? Ever even heard of such things? You and I both know creatures like that don't exist. Yeah. And then I turned to face him as I realized something. Have you seen a little girl anywhere? I'm looking for my daughter. She's only 7. Short, black hair. She's missing. She's missing. I'm sorry. With all those monsters around, I highly doubt that she's... Sorry. I didn't mean to alarm you. Your wife, she's here with you? She died 4 years ago. Now it's just me and my daughter. I see. I'm sorry. Well, I'd better be going. I can't just sit around here doing nothing. So long. Good luck out there. Okay. Very similar to the original game with the dialogue. Most of it note for note the same. Have you ever seen such aberrations? Ever even heard of such things? Bang! The examination room door shuts powerlessly. Dr. Michael Kaufman. Oddly enough, I have completely memorized that name. It's not too strange, really, given the circumstances, especially. You might want to remember the people you run into during this whole ordeal. Hold on, let me take another drink here. Huh? I suddenly noticed that there's something on the floor that looks like a white scrap of paper. What's this? I pick it up. Letters have been disorderly scribbled on it. Arrival tomorrow morning. Be prepared. This is new. They're going to... This is how they're going to trim down the drug trade story. I bet. Instead of going to the police station and Norman's, it's going to take place in the hospital and in the main locations. You know, instead of going to the Indian Runner and the motel and the police station and all these extra locations. What's this? Check to see if there's anything else or go after Kaufman. Check to see if there's anything else. I carefully look around on the floor, but it doesn't appear that anything else interesting has been dropped. I look all around the examination room. Up until a short time ago, this was just a normal room in a hospital, with its various instruments and tools all about, each aptly arranged per function. Only people have been erased from this normal scene, making the situation unnatural. I leave the examination room. I pass through the medicine room and reach a planked floor corridor that silently extends in an L shape. Oh fuck, I missed the end of that. Something, and found that there was an elevator with a large door at the end of the corridor. I try pressing the buttons beside it. Nothing happens. It looks like the power is off. There are several doors in the corridor. I begin opening each one in order. Oh, cool! Yeah, that's very much like that one room early in the hospital. With the very marble-like table. Even the color of the wall there at the back, the windows. In game, the floor doesn't look like that, you know, so it's all a bit more pixelated. I open the door, marked meeting room, head inside and close the door behind me. A large table rests in the center of this room, and I notice that there's something glittering on top of it. I grasp the light green key, leave the room, and once again step into the chilly corridor. Kitchen. The next room looks to be the kitchen. I guess that the food for patients is probably prepared here. Various bronze cooking utensils are neatly arranged in order on the stainless steel countertop. It does not appear that anything terribly important is here. No bottle to pick up. Very important optional item in the original. I carefully look through the various cooking utensils. Inside a large pot there is nothing at all. While continuing to search to see if there might be some clue here or not, I notice that on the far wall, various objects have been scattered about. I carefully move forward on the wet floor as not to slip. Something is there. I reach out my hand towards the thing in front of me. Pick up the pet bottle. Pick up the kitchen knife. Yeah, in the original game, it's just a missable bottle. And it's very important to pick it up if you want to get one of the good endings. Let's pick up the bottle. I move past one of the sinks and notice an empty pet bottle sitting on the end of the counter. Perhaps this might come in handy for something. I mutter this and grab the empty pet bottle. Then I leave the kitchen. Ooh. I feel like the doors don't look exactly right there, but the walls and the floors look right. After leaving the kitchen, I head right and place my hand on the first door that I come to. I notice the words director's office out of the corner of my eyes as I open the door. From inside the room, a strong stench overflows outward and causes me to feel dizzy. Cool. Someone has ransacked the room. Behind the desk that probably belongs to the director, several bottles have been broken, leaving red and blue liquid spilled all over the floor. Red and blue liquid. It's just red liquid in the original. Oh! Interesting. If I use the pet bottle, A, scoop up the red liquid, B, scoop up the blue liquid, C, scoop up the mixture of purple liquid. Nob has played this before, I'm pretty sure, yeah. I think I remember him doing a stream of this relatively recently, or like, you know, a year or two ago. Let's go for the mixture. Just to do something different. I get out the pet bottle and use a fragment of the bottom section of one of the broken bottles to pour the purple liquid into it. The sticky liquid drips into the pet bottle. The last drop lingered, but once it finally hit the surface of the liquid already inside the pet bottle, I tightly closed the cap and then left the director's office. I crept out into the corridor once more and stood in front of the door that was closest to the elevator. Nob can do a really good Harry impersonation. I did it for a little bit at the start of the playthrough. In the end, I just said fuck it and just decided to do it in my normal voice. I crept out into the corridor once more and stood in front of the door that was closest to the elevator. I opened the door and the reverberations of the sounds of it opening and then closing shake my eardrums. I'm just imagining Harry's voice now. The walls are made of concrete, and a few steps in a staircase leading to the basement extends like the folds inside the body of a snake. It's dark and difficult to see, but it looks like there's a door at the bottom of the staircase. We read one screen as Cartman for the fans. Be brave, I muttered to myself. Leaving only the echoes of my footsteps, I descend the staircase to hell one step at a time. And then I opened the door, leading to the darkness. I could see that the electricity was most likely out in the entire hospital. I pressed the switch on the flashlight on my chest and tried lighting the area. I don't think I could keep up Harry for the whole playthrough. It is creepy, and yet there is nothing noticeably out of place. Chilly air drifts from the cold concrete, and it seems as if touching it would completely rob my body of its warmth. Yeah, no, I can't
Thanks.
keep up that kind of cadence for every line of dialogue. What do I do? Who was that? Who in the hell was that? I'm in no mood for jokes. While moving through the corridor, I try opening the doors as I come to them. Of them, one opens with a creak. Emergency generator is written on the machine that occupies most of the room. To reach the second floor and above, it did not look like there was any method other than using the elevator. So without hesitation, I turn the machine on. I immediately head for the elevator. I press the up button. The heavy sound of the motor and the sounds of metal bars coming into contact with each other almost sound like intertwined screams. With a ding, the elevator stops and its doors slowly open. The inside of the elevator is large. It seems to be about big enough to accept 3 hospital beds. Buttons for each floor are lined up to the right of the elevator door. They are marked 3, 2, 1, and B from the top down. First, I head to the second floor. However, after I step off the elevator, I find that the door connected to the corridor that leads to the rooms on this floor is locked. With no alternative, I try heading to the 3rd floor, but I find that it is in the same state. Well, what now? I have already tried moving to every floor. With nothing else to do, I re-entered the elevator, and then could not believe my eyes. Of the buttons for each floor, 3 was definitely the highest floor. But 3 was definitely the highest floor just before. In spite of that, a new 4 button has been added. Kinda hard for this to work, in this form, as well as it does in the game itself. There's a bit of a smart-assness in my impression. I think I kind of... I can't... I don't think I'd be able to do it trying really hard for each line. I just kind of have to... Yeah, it's just... I have to let myself do this samey kind of cadence. The elevator doors open with the familiar sound, and I step out onto the 4th floor. Again, I think?
A condition extremely similar to that which I encountered after passing through the basement in the clock tower at the elementary school was present right in front of me. Dark red rusted walls, metal grated floors, and a ringing in my ears that seems to creep up from the depths of hell is a menace to my mental state. I open I open the door in front of me. I open the door in front of me and a long corridor extends beyond it. I very carefully move forward while keeping my eyes fixed on the wall. And like a lot of the lines sound so unnatural, like they're so awkwardly written that it's kind of hard to speak like a, you know, with an impression. You know, as if it's someone speaking these words. No one would speak these words. These aren't lines people would say. Okay. I opened the door in front of me and a long corridor extends beyond it. I very carefully move forward while keeping my eyes fixed on the wall. Could Cheryl be here? The only way to find out is to search this place. Huh? I can hear something in the darkness in front of me. It sounds like the groan of something dragging on the ground. The owner of that groan is slowly closing in on me, but I cannot see what it is for sure with the faint light of my flashlight. I instantly, A, ready my gun, B, leave this area. Ready my gun. It's probably not human. I firmly grip the gun, position my finger on the trigger, and begin to walk towards it with the gun steady beside my face, ready beside my face. Eventually, something white enters my field of vision. I adjust to aim the flashlight on my chest with my hand and shine light on it. A white figure appeared, which is stooped over like an old woman. It looked to have undergone a grotesque change. Oh, nasty. Oh, the lump is way more pronounced than it is in the game. Got a mountain on her back. The monster has a very large hump on its back, which twitches and moves as if it were alive. In one hand it holds a knife, which it waves as it approaches me. In the instant I readied my gun, the monster began to run. By the time I realized this, it slashed at me. I instantly dodged the attack, and thanks to that, my clothes were slashed, and I had only a scratch on my side. I suppose I was lucky. Damn! I kick it in the face with the bottom of my shoe, and it falls down on its back. It then begins to stand for its next attack. I close my left eye and steady my aim. Even after one shot hit, its movement does not change at all. I fire more bullets at it. It's laughing. In a voice great enough to shake the entire world, it laughs as its face twists and distorts. They don't laugh in the game. I cannot give up. When the final bullet loaded into my gun hits, it finally stops laughing. This time it's face down, and I begin crushing it with my foot. Finally, it completely stops moving. This is insane. Another monster approaches from behind the corpse of the first one. At this rate, all the bullets in the world would not be enough. All I can do is run. A, run past the monster in front of me. B, run past the monster behind me. Whatever, the one in front of me. I begin to run toward the monster in front of me, evading the large swings of its knife. I run down the dark corridor, occasionally stumbling. I see a staircase leading down. I race down it, knowing not whether if something is waiting for me or not at its base. I am thinking about Cheryl. Even if she's held prisoner somewhere in this hospital, there is no guarantee that I can rescue. There is no guarantee that I can rescue here. In fact, there is no reason that the staircase I am descending should lead me to Cheryl. I begin to think that all of my current actions are all meaningless. However, generally speaking, since I arrived in Silent Hill, no, since the day before leaving for Silent Hill, no, even longer ago, since the day I met Cheryl, perhaps I have no choice in my actions, that they have been determined by someone's will. As I continue to the base of the stairs, I contemplate, what if my life up to this point had just been on one track? As I descend the stairs, my ears began ringing again. The ringing is so forceful that it cannot even be compared to before, and it forces me to squat down. What in the world has happened? Perhaps I have opened a door to hell, a door that should never be opened. Something is clearly changing, and it's for the worse. Going back will not be permitted. I must move forward. Forward. I must put my hands together on my head. Wait, is that what he said there? I put my hands on my head and then squeeze my temples tightly by using my elbows. The ringing then begins to sound like a demon is whispering in my ears. However, it does not stop. I blindly begin to run. Even if I am to die in this mad land, I must save my beloved Cheryl first. Believing that the answers are beyond the door, I know that I must discover at least one clue. Okay, let me take a drink here. I think I'm going to go back to my normal voice. I'm getting bored of the Harry voice. Or whatever fucking voice that was. Well, I'm just catching up with the chat here. I just feel like it's hard for me to get out of that one note as Harry. You know, I feel like I'd be a bit more emotive with my own narration. Instead of doing do 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 for every fucking line. But I'm not really sure how else to go about it. Sybil, what do I do? Several overlapping square figures are shaking in time with the sound of my heart. It is the wall at the end of the area. Another wall lies perpendicular to it. There is a door present on the wall with the blade, you know? I'm not sure if I want to do that for every single fucking line for the rest of the playthrough, you know? But what else do I do? It's kind of the way he sounds, right? Kind of the cadence that he has. There's a door present on this wall with a plate on it that says storehouse. Some chemicals have been placed on the table that's next to the door. There are three beakers of different sizes and a test tube. The test tube contains a liquid that is of a different color to that which is in the leftmost beaker. I found a memo. It looks like we're gonna have a new puzzle here. To create it, you must come up with one deciliter of liquid and pour it into the test tube. No more or no less, that man had said. But there are no graduations on the beakers. This makes it impossible to come up with 1 deciliter using these 3 large beakers. Explanation of controls. Using the D-pad to select a beaker that contains liquid and then confirm with the A button. Then choose the beaker that you wish to move the liquid to and press the A button to move the liquid.
Using the 10 deciliter, 7 deciliter, and 5 deciliter beakers, you must create an amount of exactly 1 deciliter. The door won't budge an inch. Okay. This beaker is empty. You must choose. Without spilling any. Okay. Hold on. As long as it isn't Boktai math puzzles. Did we have problems with Boktai math puzzles? I only remember the Boktai block pushing puzzles. One specifically that we had a lot of trouble with. Okay. How do I want to go about this? Nobody say anything. I think I see. Progress. Guys. Mathematics was never my strong suit. Harry melted the chain on the door with the completed liquid. The door slowly opens with a click. Inside the storehouse, nothing important looking stands out. I carefully edge between the simple metal shelves that have been placed here in a specific arrangement. What was catching me up there was that in my mind, I thought that the one had to be in the first jar. I was like, okay, I have to make it so that the one is in this first jar. So the one wasn't allowed to be in any of the other ones. And that's how I was thinking about it. But the one was allowed to be in any of them. Oh, did the game also say that as well? Did the game say that it had to be in the first jar? I thought that was just my own misunderstanding. Okay, well, I can blame the game there as well. However, nothing is here that makes this room worthy of being called a storehouse. I'm drawn towards the cabinet in the back of this room. This is because I found the presence of the wooden cabinet strange and unsuitable for this simple room. I approach the cabinet and try to open it. However, it will not budge. Well, I will look at the floor under the cabinet. B, I will look inside of the cabinet. C, I will look on top of the cabinet. Look at the floor under the cabinet. If there is an important clue inside this cabinet, then I should be able to open it right away. But then I gradually come to understand that there is no need to do so. The necessity of the cabinet here is thin, as anything could be used to satisfy the requirement. If something is needed to block my path, then a bunch of stones could work just as well. I thought this as I looked at the scratches on the floor. Just fucking get around. Just do it, will you, Harry? Whatever the fuck you're doing here, just do it. Stop yapping. The reason I am standing in this room right now is because I opened the door and decided to stand in the room. I thought this as I looked at the scratches on the floor that were the same width as the cabinet. The marks on the floor are still fresh. They tell me that some other human probably came down here. Is there something beyond this cabinet? Using my body weight, I slowly push the cabinet from its original position. The existence of the inviting door behind the cabinet seems completely natural. So, of course, I place my hand on it. You fucking asshole, Harry. The room is very inorganic. While shining my flashlight about, I move through the room and eventually discover a grate in the floor. From between the bars in the grate, I can see a staircase that leads to a lower floor. The grate makes a clunk sound as I open it. It's quite heavy. Even though I am sure of my strength, I do not believe that I could pick it up. After opening the grate enough so that I can pass through it, I gently place one foot on the staircase that has appeared. Slowly and cautiously, confirming each step as I go, I descend the staircase to a mad place in which light cannot reach. This is one of my favorite areas in the whole series. The basement, the basement's basement in the hospital, the secret hospital ward. Finally, I reach a wide room, much wider than I imagined.
I guess this based on the echoes of my footsteps. Run. I am running. Through this eerie space that lies in the basement of the hospital. It is lifeless, and there's no light. All I can do is run through it. Does this world have an end? Or did it even have a beginning? Everywhere I go, all that I do is solve the mysteries that appear one after the other, and then move on. I understand this, and expect that the same situation will continue. Jeez, just fucking get on with it, Harry. Still, all I can do is move forward. My thinking always results in this conclusion. This is me waking up every day, realizing that it's just another day where I wake up and brush my teeth and get ready for the stream. This door has awaited me. I slowly turn the knob. The inside of this room is different from the ones I've encountered up to this point. Did I miss something here? Something life in here? There are traces and a sense that someone was in this room. He talks like when you're trying to extend the word count on an essay. Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if the writer of the play novel actually had to utilize that strat. Hey, Arclight, how's it going? I am losing my mind a bit with Harry in this. He's very silly. Okay. I softly pick up the picture frame that was displayed on the desk. Alessa. That is engraved on the picture frame. I gaze at the picture. It's a face that I think I've seen somewhere. I try to remember where as hard as I can, but in the end, I cannot remember at all. Oh, Jesus. Another fascinating conclusion by Harry here. But I'm sure that I've met this girl somewhere. And more than just once. A diary has been placed next to the picture frame. I reach out with my hand. There's no diary here in the original game.
Thanks.
Hitch with the 44, thank you. Something is written in the diary. April 15th. From today, this will be my new diary. Lisa secretly gave this to me as a present, and it means that soon I should be able to take my bandages off. Hey, this is pretty cool. This is new. A bird landed on a branch of the tree outside my window. You're down in the basement's basement here. There shouldn't be any windows in this room. I gazed at it for a bit. Seeing those beautiful colors, I thought again that it must be spring. I wish I could play outside like the other children. It's now afternoon and they have come again. I pretended to be asleep and it looks like they did not notice. They talk quietly as not to be heard outside my room. I do not understand the meaning of what they discussed. They never talk in this room, I thought. April 16th. Someone is talking outside my room, but it sounds serious. But it doesn't seem to be about me. Perhaps it's because he doesn't want to disturb me. Even the hospital director has not come to see me much lately. I don't like the director very much. So I'm honestly quite happy. April 16th, P.S. By some strange chance, I learned a certain person is coming to visit me. April 17th. Everyone has been in a rush for some reason since before sunrise this morning. Something about a dead person coming back to life. Does that really happen? It's a frightening story, and because of that, my meal was a little late. The cold soup is disappointing. Suddenly I remembered him. Maybe he's forgotten me, but I definitely remember him. Lately I think of him often. I want to see him. It looks like my visitor is coming in. It looks like my visitor is coming in the evening on the day after tomorrow. Before then, just once. April 18th. It's finally tomorrow. I will not tell anyone about this. If I tell anyone, they will probably strap me to my bed. Before they arrive, the friend that can share my feelings, the only one. I wonder if she will realize this. Tonight, I will go to bed early. April 19th. I must get out of here. For the first time in a while, I've worn my favorite pendant. Does it look good on me? I will write about the results here tomorrow. April 20th. The last page is blank. I place the diary under my arm and prepare to leave the room. However, my eyes once again return to the picture frame that the diary had been placed next to. She was all alone. But I have Cheryl. The girl in the picture is appealing to me for something. In the painful silence, I can feel a spiritual message. After wavering, I removed the picture from the frame and slid it into my pocket, and then I left the room. Alessa, just who is she? And why was her picture on display in the deep basement of the hospital? And where was that strange feeling of a life that I sensed in that room coming from? I'm unable to figure any of it out, and so I am irritated. I head for the examination room on the first floor. All the mysteries of the hospital are surely prepared in that room. Believing so, I race up the stairs while having difficulty breathing. When I open the door to the examination room, I feel the presence of a person and stop moving. The inside of the room is dark. Someone is here. Okay, so at first I thought she was talking about Harry in the diary. About meeting Harry, you know, in her other form. In her projected form. Not really sure what the deal was with all of that. I know none of the music has been from the game, apart from the very beginning. I sat down on my chair by lowering my legs. I expected to feel the soft fabric against my butt, and I did. I clicked onto Twitch using my mouse with my hand. The website slowly loaded on the screen, which I looked at with my eyes. My favorite streamer, Threedogg, was live, which brought me great joy. I eagerly gazed at the stream again with my eyes, which I always usually use to see most things. I continued to watch the stream with my eyes like I did yesterday and every day. Oh, man. I get the sudden sense that I will do this tomorrow as well. And every day for the foreseeable future. Oh, Jesus Christ. Hold on. Oh, jeez, I almost spat out my drink there. Christ. Oh, that was a close one. Okay, let me crack open a beer. Hold on. Oh, Jesus. I'm not sure if I want a better translation of this. It's perfect. Okay. Right, time for Lisa. Hold on, let me just catch up with the chat as well, make sure I'm not missing anything.
Jesus. Let me just check my stream elements as well. Hitch, thank you for the 44. Shadow Cloud with the 31. Foxy with the 62. Nerve with the 33. Sale with the 68. Mr. Kitten, everyone, thank you. Anyone that I might have missed. Okay, Lisa time. Who is it? Slowly approach or fire the gun? We should fire the gun, right? Just because it's a new, exciting option that we don't do in the original. Is looking at my Streamlabs a dialogue option? It could be. Okay, fire the gun. I readied the handgun. So there's more of you bastards. I can depend only upon my gun in this hospital, which had become a nest for monsters. At the moment I was about to pull the trigger. A woman shrieked, "Wait, don't shoot, I'm human." With my gun still readied, I carefully looked at the woman under the desk. What? What are you doing under there? That's a cool way to lead into the same scene that we see. As I look at my stream elements, I see that Hitch has resubbed for 44 months. Just like he did last month for 43 months. I think to myself that he will probably sub again next month for 45 months. Once the woman realized that I was a human, she ran towards me and threw her arms around me like a child would. Finally, someone else who's okay. After mumbling those words in a tearful voice, she held me more tightly. Who are you? My name's Lisa Garland. What's yours? Harry Mason. After we exchanged our simple introductions, I sat in a chair. And she sat on the bed so that we were facing each other. I can't, just right after the last message in chat. I can't read anything about chairs and not crack up. Okay, I sat in a chair and she sat on the bed so that we were facing each other. The woman that called herself Lisa had blonde hair. He's already starting to suspect that that might not really be her name. This woman who's calling herself Lisa here, if that is her real name. Lisa had blonde hair and an intelligent look to her. Maybe she might know something. At the moment I was about to speak, the woman began talking. This music here. This is like JRPG music or something. Power of Friendship music. Harry, tell me what's happening here. Where is everybody? I must have gotten knocked out. When I came to, everyone was gone. Her voice did not feel like it was coming from her body and was accompanied by a strange reverberation. It's awful. So you don't know anything either. Great. I just don't get it. It's like this is all some kind of bad dream. As I select my words, I have a feeling that even my own words are not coming from my body. Let me ask you. Yeah, a living nightmare. Let me ask you, have you seen a little girl around here? Short, black hair, 7 years old? I mutter, Cheryl, in a voice that Lisa would not hear. A 7-year-old girl. What, she's your daughter? Yes, a 7-year-old girl. I can't say that I have. I was unconscious all this time. I'm sorry. Ah, that's all right. That was just as I expected, but I continue asking questions without showing my disappointment. Do you know anything about all that weird stuff in the basement? No? Why? Is there something down there? You don't know? Don't you work here?
We're under strict orders never to enter the basement storeroom. After changing the subject to the hospital basement, I began to notice that my thoughts were becoming muddy. So I really don't know. What did you say was down there? Well, I try as hard as I can to remember the pitiful sight of that room in the basement. However, in trying to trace my memory back to then, that ringing, which had been gone for a while, returned to my ears. A sound like the bells of that church runs throughout my head. Damn! My head! What's wrong? Harry? Harry, let me help you. Harry? Lisa has vanished. After a while, I notice that my body is freezing cold. It's as if I'm dead, but I'm clearly conscious. Where's Lisa? I was definitely talking to her in this examination room. I no longer feel the evil presence that I felt in this room. No, in this entire hospital up until just before. From the window, soft light is pouring into the room. Was I dreaming? As I slowly get up, I hear the sound of a door opening. I instantly look toward the source of the sound. The creepy woman I met at the church was standing there with an expressionless look on her face. Hey, she's back. You were too late. It's you. Yes, Dahlia Gillespie. Tell me everything you know. What's going on? Darkness, she responded before I was even done speaking. The town is being devoured by darkness. The woman continues while maintaining a devout look. Strength must overcome petty desire. Childish sleep talk. I knew this day would come. What are you talking about? I don't understand a word of this. Believe the evidence of your eyes. So I should believe the evidence of my eyes. I understand. I'm in a situation in which I can only believe what I've seen with my own eyes. That last bit of dialogue from Harry, that's some novel exclusive dialogue. That isn't in the game. The other church in this town, that is your destination. This is beyond my abilities. Only you can stop it now. Have you not seen the crest marked on the ground all over town? So that's what I saw in the schoolyard. What does it mean? It is the mark of Samael. Don't let it be completed. Hey, wait. Peace. Classic Dahlia. Oh no. Oh no. The game froze and I don't think I've saved up until this point. No! I completely forgot about saving. I thought about it at one point. Oh, we might have to call it here for tonight. Typical Dahlia glitching out the emulators. Fuck. How does saving in this work? I'm assuming I just pause the game and save. I tried to do it at one point. I could save state, I guess. It'll probably just load back into its bugged state, though. Yeah. Ah, damn. Anyone have any other ideas? We're probably fucked.
Damn. Yeah, I really should have remembered to save. Hold on. Maybe miraculously the game auto-saved or something. I think it does auto-save. I'm pretty sure it does. Because remember that save I had at the start when I booted up the game? I never saved manually to get that save. Yes! Nice. Now, let's see if it crashes in the same way. Nice. It didn't crash. You guys can still see the game, right? It's pretty rare for GBA games to do this, yeah? Okay, nice. We can keep going. Sweet. So I really didn't want to end it there. Dahlia Gillespie. She places an oddly shaped key on an examination table with a tap, spins around, heads to the door, and then opens it. I open the door that she closed and roll out into the hospital corridor, but she is nowhere to be seen. The other church. But if I exclude the church I already visited, I do not see anything that looks like a church on the map. I slowly open the phone book attached to the payphone in the corridor. Hey, cool! This is an optional thing that's kind of easy to miss. Sometimes I don't even show it when I play the game because I just forget about it. But yeah, you can look at the phone book in the lobby area, which will highlight your next destination for you. In there, a mark is present to guide me. It's next to the phone number for an antique shop in the northeast area of the shopping district. After leaving the hospital, I began to walk at a loss. It's not that I'm tired, but that I am sick of the constant weather. I recall what Kaufman said. He is a person that lives in this town, yet he did not appear to know why everyone disappeared. When I woke up, it was like this. That is most certainly what he said. Dahlia, she's a mysterious woman. She seems to be holding some secrets, but she always disappears before I can ask her anything. Her timing in meeting me and talking to me was just a little too convenient. Maybe she read the future or something. At any rate, she seemed to have predicted that I would come here, and she spoke about this. And then there's Cheryl's whereabouts. Everything has been unreasonable and illogical. My irritation is increasing, and I will end up losing my cool. The antique shop. Yeah, this is it. For a moment, I was taken with the sense that someone was watching me. Without looking back, I entered the door as if I was being swallowed by it. This just makes Harry way more annoying as a character. This whole play novel, like, nothing about the extra dialogue makes Harry more interesting as a character. With all of the narration and all of his inner thoughts, he's just more annoying. You know, he's just saying the same old shit about how he's, you know, moves his legs to sit on a chair and how it makes his butt feel, and, you know, how he crosses his legs the same way that he crossed his legs the day before. Every now and then there's some cool new details or something that's different from the game. But I'm just kind of sick of his bullshit at this point. The inside of the shop is small. I take a look around using my flashlight and find that the place is such a mess
that it looks almost as if it has been ransacked by a thief. Is something here? At first glance, I don't think that there's anything here that concerns me. However, I did not miss that which was hidden behind a shelf. I move the shelf step by step, and an eerie passage leading into darkness appears. It's still pretty fun, though, just seeing this whole new version of the game. And it's been funny. What's this? Harry! I look back toward the familiar voice. Sybil! Sybil, who should have left for the next town over to call for backup, was there. And yeah, apparently we can also play the whole game from Sybil's perspective as well, which is probably just an NG Plus thing. Something tells me, though, that Sybil is going to be an awful lot like Harry in how she talks and narrates. Oh, I'm glad you're okay. I shouldn't have left you. Things are worse than I thought. It's nuts. What are you doing here? I thought you left town. Oh, I'm glad you're okay. I shouldn't have left you. Things are worse than I thought. It's nuts. What are you doing here? I thought you... Wait, what? Did that just repeat? I saw you go in here, so I followed you. I couldn't get out. All the roads out of town are blocked. Cars have completely stopped running. The phones and radios are still out too. What about my daughter? Did you see her? No. Sybil shook her head back and forth. Unfortunately, I haven't. I looked down. What about you? Anything? Yeah. I met this bizarre woman. Her name's Dahlia Gillespie. Do you know her? Dahlia Gillespie. I just met her at the church. Something about her. She's quite a creepy person. She said something about the town being devoured by darkness. Gibberish like that. Any idea what it means? I really don't know. As for me, she said you can no longer make it time and such. Things I did not understand the meaning of. What? We then just looked at each other for a bit, each of us thinking of something. How is the gun I gave you? Sybil asked with a bright smile. There have been several situations in which I've had to use it. It seems like I've finally gotten used to using it. Well, you know you won't get over that if you don't use it after all. Sybil brushed her finger on the tip of her nose. Just where is that feeling of emptiness that runs through this room coming from? My body and the images entering my pupils. It all seems like I'm in a dream and that my mind is isolated from them. Sybil's calls brought me back around. What? We passed out already? We're not going to go into the back room? Hey, Harry. Yeah. What's wrong? Sybil looked slightly irritated and took a long breath. Then she shifted her gaze to the passage behind the shelf. What? What just happened? The images entering my pupils. Did he say that? I wasn't even paying attention to that one. He's always saying shit like that. Merman, thank you so much for the 14. Cheers, Mehmed. What's this? Just discovered it. Maybe there's something back there? Let's have a look. Wait. We don't know what's back there. I'd better check it out first. I'm a cop. I should go. Remember, a lot of this is due to the wonky translation. This is a fan patch for a game that only released in Japanese. And, yeah, I don't think they did an in-depth translation job on this. Who knows? It might have even been translated by AI or something. I'm a cop. I should go. No, I'm going. Sybil placed her hand over my mouth to keep me from speaking. Even though I look like this, I am a police officer. Please leave everything to me. Think of this as my job. Even though I look like a woman. I remained silent for a bit and then gave in to her. Okay, please be careful. Oh. So Sybil is going in here. This is different. I peer inside the hidden passage. Inside, it looks like an unseen barrier of darkness has been set up, which makes it look like a place no one should enter. I intuitively sense that it would be dangerous to move into this passage. It is that kind of passage. Oh, I'm not sure if Sybil's model should be disappearing like that either. I talked to Sybil once as she enters the passage. Sybil? Yes? Do you know anything about, well, like some other world? Wait, are we talking to Sybil now after she's returned from the passage? It's like some kind of bad dream. What are you talking about? I'm not quite sure. I try to make sense of it, but then my mind goes blank. Everything's dark there, and I hear sirens in the distance. I met this nurse, Lisa. It's like I was there, but not really. It's all a blur, like some kind of hallucination, you know? I've no idea what you're talking about, Harry. Sybil spoke while shaking her head from side to side. Oh, I was just wondering. Never mind. Harry, you're tired. Yeah, maybe. Am I tired? Yes, I am tired. If that is all it is, then that's fine. If my being tired is what caused me to see all the hallucinations up to this point, then Cheryl should return to me. The only thing is the sensation I am feeling is not that of being tired. Well, you see, the thing is, this sensation isn't actually because I'm tired, I just realized. Rather, my body feels as if I have been on the floor, sleeping continuously like a human in cold sleep. And I'm feeling the agonizing suffering of not easily being able to escape from that state. Leaving me behind, Sybil steps into the passage. I can no longer see her from where I'm at. There's definitely some big mistranslations happening here with this passage. So she went through the passage, then she came back from the passage. Now she's going into the passage again, maybe? No one has been to the chapel at the back of the passage yet. Which is like, that's your main reason for going through the passage, is to find that little chapel. Oh, we moving into the other world? My field of vision is swaying. I pressed my back to a wall and steadily slid down until I reached the cold floor. The shadows of several of the items in the room expand and contract as the light moves. It is as if a great number of spirits are laughing at me. Eventually, those shadows pounce on me. The bodiless beings bind my hands and feet and corner me until I am unable to move. I cannot speak. One long shadow extends a tentacle towards my neck. Please stop, I implore. I hold both of my palms up, but the shadow passes through the areas between my fingers and reaches my neck. I try to speak, but only a gasp comes out that will not reach Sybil. Finally, activity in my brain begins to stop. Finally, activity... Finally, activity in my brain begins to stop due to a lack of oxygen. I saw stars in my eyes and then nothing at all. I lost consciousness as if I were just going to sleep. My body is freezing. Where am I? I cannot focus my eyes. There are no more images coming into my eyes, being observed by my eyeballs. That's right, this is the antique shop. I'm sitting on the floor with my back against the cold wall. I must have dozed off for a bit. My fingers are as cold as ice, and so I cannot move them normally. While chasing around after Cheryl, fatigue must have been building up, without me realizing it. However, this is no time to be sleeping. Oh, Harry's on a roll here. Oh, I wonder how Sybil is doing. I look around. I look around the room and see that the eerie passage that was hidden behind the shelf is still open just as it was before. Sybil is still in there. When she comes out, I will have a word with her. I hope she's okay. It seems like quite a bit of time has passed. I heavily stand and check the gun in my pocket. I then stand at the entrance of the completely dark passage. I have only 3 bullets left. I cannot afford to waste any. Okay. My breathing breaks the silence. I get out the gun and hold it near my temple, with it aimed at the stomach of that dark demon, and then I begin to walk forward. I am worried about Sybil's safety, so I am guided forward by my quivering feet. Oh, Jesus. Oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus Christ. We need to remember, Harry said this before. This might not just be Harry being Harry. Remember, he's being controlled. He's just being guided. He's just following where his feet are taking him. This is all tying into the meta aspect of me controlling Harry and, determining whatever his outcome is. Oh, that's so funny. After walking for a bit, I sensed light coming from somewhere other than the flashlight of my chest. I leisurely turn off my flashlight and see that something is shining at the end of the passage. I rush forward. I am running toward the light, not unlike how a small insect would. Something is there. Is Sybil all right? He's definitely way more pathetic in this, Harry. Like, he's always talking down to himself. He needs to give himself more credit, I think, for all of this shit he's going through. Something is there. Something is there. Is Sybil all right? Or will I have to confront a monster again? Okay, we're here. Looks just like the game. There was a room at the end of the passage. As I entered the room, the light is so dazzlingly bright that I have to shield my... Oh, God. Sorry. I was just thinking about doing all of that dialogue with Harry's voice. I don't think I would have been able to. As I entered the room, or I was just kind of thinking of it being read in Harry's voice. As I enter the room, the light is so dazzlingly bright that I have to shield my eyes with the back of my hand. There's a simple altar on the wall to the right of where I entered the room. A large flame is coming off of a thick candle and green smoke is billowing from it. Everything in the room was shaking in the light from that flame. What is this place? Once my eyes adjusted to the light, my line of sight jumped to an unbelievable sight. What?
At first, I thought it was just a well-made doll, a mannequin with a red shirt on. It was on its back, lying in a pool of red liquid. But I soon understood what it was. Sybil. I softly called to her. Her light green shirt had been stained crimson by the flow of red liquid from the back of her neck. I was completely confused. A, rush to Sybil's side. B, step back and run away. I do want to run away, but no. We're going to rush to Sybil's side here. This is all new with Sybil. This doesn't happen at all with Sybil in the original. It's a retelling of SH1? Yeah, it's a Game Boy Advance novelization of SH1. With some new stuff. And I think you can also play as Sybil. You can see the story from Sybil's perspective on NG+, I think. This is a fan translation. It only released in Japan. Yet, Jesus, look at the length of that neck. Sybil, hold on. I shake her shoulders, but she does not respond. Why has this happened? I cover her dead body. Her cold body. Lost in hopelessness, I lost consciousness again. Harry? You okay? Harry? Harry? Where am I? Harry? Lisa? Then I'm in the hospital. You were having a bad dream. Was I? Hey, you don't look too good. Are you okay? I'm fine. Nothing you need to worry about. Well, if you're sure. Interesting, the different coloring here. It isn't like that in the game. Lisa, do you know a woman named Dahlia Gillespie? Oh yeah, that crazy Gillespie lady. She's kind of famous around here. She never sees anybody, so I don't know that much about her. But I heard her kid died in a fire, and supposedly she's been crazy ever since. Well, she says the town is being devoured by the darkness. Do you have any idea what she's talking about? The town devoured by darkness. Yes, I think I do. Before this place was turned into a resort, the townspeople here were on the quiet side. Everybody followed some kind of queer religion. Weird occult stuff. Black magic, that kind of thing. As young people moved away, the people figured they'd been summoned by the gods. Evidently, things like that used to happen around here all the time. Word for word, stuff that's in the game. Before the resort, there wasn't really anything else out here. Everyone was so flipped out. Gotta blame it on something. Then a lot of new people came in and everybody clammed up about it. A cult. Last time I heard anything about it was, gosh, years ago. And several people connected with developing the town died in accidents. People said it was a curse. You can always tell it's dialogue straight from the game because it isn't completely insane. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm rambling. I'll shut up. No, it's all right. Hey, Harry, what happened to your hand? Oh, this? I just hurt it a little bit. Is it okay? Yeah, just a scratch. Nothing major. Even if it is just a scratch, there's a lot of blood. If we don't look after it soon, this is new. I wonder, is this going to tie in with the new endings? It's okay. Please don't touch it. Why are you so angry? Sorry, but this doesn't concern you. I don't want to get you mixed up in this. I'm sorry. Lisa's words. Lisa's words.
The reverberation of Lisa's "I'm sorry" remained in my ears. I wonder how long had I been asleep. I found myself in that antique shop again, lying face down in the same position I was in just a short while ago. Was that another dream? Did I pass out again? I don't want to think so, but maybe this is all just going on in my head. I could have had a car accident and now I'm lying unconscious in a hospital bed. I don't know what's real anymore. Sybil's body has vanished. She's gone, almost as if she was absorbed into the concrete floor. Maybe Sybil never came here in the first place. Just what did I see? A hallucination? A delusion? I want to talk to Lisa. She knows something. She's holding some secret. I'll go to see her. Good to see you, Ash. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome anyone coming in from Ash's stream. Okay. Lots of reverberations. Keeping one hand on the wall to support myself, I stumble out of the antique shop. I open the gate of the hospital and then energetically open the door of the examination room. Inside, Lisa is waiting for me. Harry! She changes from looking completely exhausted and rushes over to me in an innocent, childlike way. Glad you're okay. Thank God you came back. I was scared to be here all alone. I'm here now. I was worried too. I'm real happy to see you. I lightly hug Lisa and gently draw away. I then speak while looking into her eyes. Lisa, have you seen a policewoman named Sybil? Sybil? That's the first time I've heard that name. I've not seen her. Since the town has become like this, I've not met any humans other than you. I was irritated that I didn't understand anything that was going on, so I loudly clicked my tongue. What's wrong, Harry? You don't seem yourself. Sorry, I just can't see the truth. Even talking to you now, I wonder if it isn't just a delusion. Aww. Lisa looks a bit sad. I am me. Nothing has changed. I've just been waiting for you here all along. Saying nothing, I just looked at Lisa. While we were talking, I couldn't be sure if I was currently sitting here or actually speaking. My voice and my existence were beginning to disappear into the dry air in the room. Hey, look who's back! And then the door opened and someone came in. Dr. Michael Kaufman. Yes, he definitely said that he was a doctor at this hospital. What are you doing? Lisa took a deep breath and half smiled to greet him. This is Harry. His daughter has become lost in this town. He already told me that. Have you found her? No, I shook my head from side to side. Harry, do you know Michael? Yeah, when I first visited this hospital, I met him once. I recalled the sight of him holding me at gunpoint. Weren't you leaving town? I asked, sarcastically. It was no good. All the roads are blocked. It's impossible to get out. The three of us just remained silent. I grew up in this town. I know this area. As far as I could see, all the roads leading out of town have become precipitous cliffs or were blocked with large boulders. We're completely isolated. Lisa's smile disappeared. Well, what are we gonna do? We should start thinking about that. I'm gonna get some sleep. With that, Kaufman left the room. Where are you going? To the director's office. He often sleeps there. Lisa answered for him. It's cold and not unexpected as it is snowing outside. That was kind of nice to see. You know, just seeing a scene where Kaufman and Lisa are in the same scene together, in the same room together. Very janky the way all of that was translated, though. But this room has no heating of any sort. I took off my jacket and went to put it on Lisa, but she shook her head from side to side. Isn't there any heating? Lisa's eyes shifted to the heater in the back of the room. I'm sorry, this worked until yesterday, but today it's broken. It's ironic. Lisa shrugged her shoulders. But there should be an oil heater for use in the patient rooms in the reception area. I'll go and get it. Lisa begins to stand, but I stop her. I'll go and get it. Oh, what are we doing here? Why are we stretching out this scene, I wonder? You just sit tight. Lisa smiled. You're kind. I pretended not to hear her as I left the room. Why did I come here? I take an audible breath. While I was talking to Lisa, I had become mentally tired, but I did find myself faintly attracted to her. An unexplainable irritableness took control of my feelings. What? Harry, Lisa, romance stuff here? This isn't in the game. I placed my hands on one of the two heaters lined up under the reception counter, and then was gripped with a strange sensation. I raised my head and looked around. In the dark, gloomy lobby, there's only the sound of a large wall clock ticking away the passage of undeniable time. While listening to the irregular rhythm of that ticking sound, which was not unlike the irregular pulse of a patient just before they die, I completely forgot why I came to the lobby. Click, click, onomatopoeia for footsteps. Footsteps? I turned back, and as I approached the long corridor on the first floor, I saw it. At the end of the corridor, with the white light hitting her back from the window, the dark figure of a girl appeared out of the darkness. She appears to be facing me and can see me. Cheryl? At the moment I began to approach, the figure vanished. Bang! The sound of gunfire reverberates throughout the hospital, from the door just left of where I am standing. Lisa! Oh! No! We're reading 50 Shades of the Otherworld? Okay, well this is new. I open the door. The faint scent of gunpowder wafts through the air. And in the middle of the room, Lisa lay on her side, dead. Lisa. I instantly thought of Sybil. The situations strangely resemble each other. Only Lisa and I are in the room. In this closed room, only a face-down corpse and me. In the short amount of time I was out of the room, someone came and shot Lisa in the neck and then left the room. And just like the scene with Sybil, this isn't in the original game. That girl. Yes, it was that girl. There's no doubt about it. She must have lied in wait for Lisa to be alone. However, for what purpose? Why Lisa and not me? So, what's going to happen here? Harry thinks it's the mysterious girl that's Alessa, but it actually turns out to be Dahlia or something. Or maybe the culprit is someone else. Yes, and they are still close. Go for this one. I searched the area around the corpse. Huh? There I found a familiar handgun. This is the gun that I received from Sybil. Just to be sure, I checked my pockets. Sure enough, the handgun is gone. At some point, it must have been stolen from me. Kaufman. Or maybe Lisa when I was passed out? No, that's hard to imagine. Kaufman and I were far apart, and I cannot imagine that he managed to take the gun from where he was. The same with Lisa. I cannot imagine that she would take the gun while I was knocked out for the purpose of suicide. And then there's Sybil's death. The girl. There's no doubt about it. She's been following me all this time, just out of my sight. She took the gun while I was sleeping and then shot Lisa. I darted out of the room and began to run in the direction where the girl was. I held the gun ready near my temple and arrived at the elevator hall ready for anything. However,
Thanks.
I couldn't believe what I saw there. Kaufman. Kaufman has shrunk into the corner of the hall as if he was driven there. One of the walls is covered with a disgusting splatter, and he's already dead on the floor. Okay, this is all very different. Upon seeing his injury, I sank to the ground. I sat with my legs crossed on the hard tile floor at a loss as to what to do. That girl is walking around. That girl is walking around and destroying everything she sees with the gun. However, that girl is not here now. I bury my face in my hands. I thought, please kill me soon. As each of the people in town are killed, I don't want to be the last. I don't want to be the last one. Please, kill me soon. With my eyes closed, I prayed hard and wished for that. And then the girl came. The low sound of a motor. He's completely given up on Cheryl now. He just wants to die. The low sound of a motor and a chime announced her arrival. The doors slowly open and close. After stepping off the elevator, the girl walked over to me and stood there. I was able to tell who the girl was without even raising my head. Daddy? I could not hold back my overflowing tears. I placed my palms on my face and cried out, Cheryl! Why? Why are you doing this? My unintelligible voice resonated with the walls of the hall. Oh! No fucking way! It actually was Cheryl. Daddy, I looked at Cheryl through the spaces between my fingers. In her small right hand, she held a black, solemn handgun, which was disproportionate to her size. I said, hey, if you're going to kill me, then do it. Harry is a fucking bitch in this version. B, give me that handgun. Save state? Let's save state. If you're gonna kill me, then do it. Sorry. You daddy doesn't understand, but if you're going to kill me, then do it. I'm in agony to finally be reunited with you. With you like this. With an expressionless face. With an expressionless face, Cheryl points the barrel of the gun at me. Hand it over to him now, Cheryl. That voice woke me up. A particular hoarse voice. Dahlia. I could faintly see her standing in the darkness behind Cheryl. Oh. Dahlia. Dahlia did not move. She looked down on me and began to speak. It's terrible. The gods have passed judgment on you. Under the pretext of searching for your missing daughter, you were unable to get her back. What? What are you saying? Dahlia taps Cheryl's shoulder and Cheryl holds out the handgun. Daddy, isn't this yours? It was dropped here. I remained seated and then I reached out and took the handgun without knowing why. My handgun. I hurriedly checked my pockets. The handgun was definitely missing. It doesn't appear that you've realized it yet. I carefully studied the gun I was holding. This is definitely the gun I received from Sybil. 1 round is chambered in the gun. Wait. There's 1 round in the gun. 1 round. Daydream recollection. What? This is the antique shop. Sybil heads to the altar at the end of the passage. I follow her without making any footstep sounds. Sybil doesn't notice me. I strangle her from behind. I push her down to the floor. I press the gun I am holding to the base of her neck and forcefully pull the trigger. Where is this? I think I got the bad ending. Hospital. I leave the examination room. Yes, to get the oil heater. No. Instead, I return to the room. Lisa was surprised. I grab her long blonde hair. Her scream and the gunshot occur at the same time. This is hilarious. It's just a really, you know, just as a way to reinvent this whole sequence from the original game, you know, where Harry just starts passing out repeatedly. Where in one scene he's in a dream talking to Lisa, and then he's waking up again and he's in the other world in the antique shop. And now in this novelization, during that whole sequence, he goes on a fucking murder spree. I grab her or maybe this isn't what happened. Maybe we're being manipulated by Dahlia. Lisa was surprised. I grab her long blonde hair. Her scream and the gunshot occur at the same time. A terrible headache. I cannot take it and run out into the corridor. I run into a man that was surprised. Wait, hold on. A terrible headache. I cannot take it and run out into the corridor. I run into a man that was surprised by the gunshot and has come out of a room. He sees what I have in my right hand. He sees the red stain on my clothes. I persistently chase him. I look at his back as he runs away. He is a fool. That Kaufman. There's a dead end ahead. You have nowhere left to run to. He sank to the floor in the corner of the hall. What a pathetic end. I place my right leg on his shoulder. A piercing voice. Ooh. Dahlia looks creepy there with Cheryl. I don't like seeing Cheryl cozy up to Dahlia like that. It looks like you've remembered. Dahlia's piercing voice penetrates my eardrums. Something snaps within me. Dahlia, I cannot speak through my tears. Cheryl clings to Dahlia and stares fixedly at me. She appears to be frightened. Silence. It's strange that my daughter would cling to a woman that she has just met. Even as I shared the same time and space with them, they felt completely like people from another dimension. If you're going to kill, then you should do it. No one is left in this town. This town is dead. Where the fuck are we going now with this? The snow still continues to fall even now, on the roof and walls of this decrepit hospital. On all the houses, a merciless source of white ice falls. I fly into the sky. I look down on the town wrapped in thick fog. It is going far away. I need to see this in the form of a cutscene with the original game's graphics. I spread out my arms and climb even higher. This is like the end of Cairn all over again. This feels good. It's invigorating. If I close my eyes, I feel that I would rise all the way to space. On top of the desk, Cheryl has watered the dandelions that have bloomed in the garden. My body is, in my distant consciousness, my entire body trembles. I'm holding a gun in my right hand, lying face down on the desk in my study. I will never move ever again. Harry kill himself? Calm sunlight. A gentle breeze blows in from the window. Cheryl? I will never move ever again? And that was the good ending? Okay. So... I have a feeling... I don't know what kind of ending that was. Yeah, it didn't seem like a good ending. Maybe there's an ending that's worse than that. So I didn't think my decisions were too bad overall, but I guess they were. But yeah, probably one of the bad endings. Kind of feels like it parallels the "it was all a dream" ending of the original game. Or, you know, you were dead the whole time ending. Where the whole game was just a hallucinatory dream as Harry was dying. It kind of felt like that was this game's version of that. Like he was at the, he was at the desk and the whole thing never happened. But I'm not really sure how you're supposed to interpret that. We got a trading card. We got a Kaufman card. Oh, what a beautiful card design. Okay, and now I guess this save is NG+. That was hilarious. Harry just suddenly going insane and killing everyone. Yeah, a physical copy of this game, brand new, is like £400 or something, £450. That's how much it cost in Super Potato. But yeah, that wasn't very good. Not a particularly great novelization. Again, hard to be all that critical given that it was a very rough translation. Surely it had to be AI translated to a degree, given like how unbelievably wonky it was at times. But it was pretty funny. We got some good laughs out of it. Now, that was the best thing about it. And I am still kind of intrigued to see what the other endings are. We'll have to do that sometime. Will I do another POV tomorrow? How do we... Wait, hold... the text is bugging out here. I thought it was letting me pick Sybil there. Hold on. That's just the same new game. Yeah, how do we play as Sybil? Does anyone know?
Maybe I need to get a better ending before they let me play as Sybil. But yeah, it wasn't great, really. Kind of speed running through the areas, going through the same story more or less with a few new additions and changes. Harry's inner monologue was just very tedious most of the time. He wasn't really, it wasn't really fleshing out the story or his character in an interesting way. Every now and then there'd be some cool or interesting little changes, but not great, really. I can't imagine it would be all that much better with a better translation either, but who knows? Definitely felt like a premature ending. I would hope so, hopefully, because there's a lot of the game missing. You don't go to the sewers, the amusement park, the whole sequence in nowhere. There's still another half of the game to go, maybe a little bit less than half. The portrait, yeah, it probably would have been the experience might not have been as good with a better translation. Because that was a good laugh. I just read on the ROM hacking page it was translated from Japanese to Russian and then into English from that build. So very much a Chinese whispers scenario. Okay. I'm just trying to think. What parts of it were cool? I liked some of the visuals, just seeing the way some of the rooms were rendered, some of those images. The animated enemies were kind of cool, just little touches like that. But yeah, a lot of the time it was just like, you just felt like you should be playing the game instead, really. Like when Harry was exploring through the major dungeon areas like the school and the hospital, but he was just basically speed running through it, like one enemy encounter, skipping the puzzles and just going straight to the next main cutscene area. It was just like, oh, what's the point of this, really? We're just kind of going through, skipping the game sections. Yeah, a lot of the time it just felt like you were experiencing it, or that you should have been experiencing it in another way. Hold on one sec. We need a shittier translation. Some of the music really doesn't work as well during some of the scenes, some of those dungeon sequences. Some of the music felt like it would have been better suited for a JRPG than a Silent Hill game, with like kind of melodramatic soap opera music for some of it. Damn, well, I was hoping that would go for a bit longer. But yeah, I guess we'll leave it there for now, with one ending completed. Yeah, we definitely have to do this again sometime to see the other endings. I'm intrigued. I'm morbidly curious to see what other endings we can get. That's a funny one, how crazy that one is. Harry losing his mind and killing half of the cast. This sudden twist about regarding the gun and that he lost his gun. Very silly. Let's go for another ending right now. Nah, I don't think I'm going to do it right now, but we'll try and do it sometime soon, maybe. There's like 30 or so endings in this. Oh, Jesus. Really? Damn. So maybe you have to like really play your cards right if you want to get the good ending. Okay, well, that's interesting. Do fail states count as endings? No, there aren't. You don't really have fail states. Like, I never died to an enemy or anything like that. What's the gacha that I got from Japan? I won't spoil it. I'll have to reveal that in a video. Yeah, guys, I guess we'll just leave it there for now. And tomorrow, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe some Bond tomorrow, finally. Before First Light comes out. Yeah, we'll leave it there for now. Guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the silliness today with this play novel experience. And yeah, we'll have to do this again sometime. Maybe even tomorrow. It might be nice to come back and hunt for some of those other endings. See if we can get the main ending at least. And we'll see. I'll have a think about it at least. Guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Take it easy. Good night.